Hello everyone, welcome back and happy Easter to you all. My people, matters are rising. There is fire on the mountain. The former SA on political matters to Tinubu, Dr. Hakim Baba-Ahmed, has come out publicly to declare that in next 6 months, the North will come out and tell the world their direction in which they're going to go come 2027. He added that the North will no longer tolerate all these shenanigans from Tinubu. He said that if he is to open up to what his eyes had seen, then every Northerners will start regretting their support towards Tinubu. But notwithstanding, the North will come out and retaliate in 2027. And if they think they can rig the election, then maybe there will be no country anymore. And that no one will become Nigeria president without the support from the North. My people, that is wahala in Nigeria. Like maybe God want to answer some of our prayers. Yes, because like we are so tired when it comes to this one Nigeria, honestly. This thing is not working. It is better that everyone go to their separate way. Now the Northerners are talking about separation and all that. Because of this, Tinubu government is not favoring them. Like the level of hypocrisy is unbelievable. Sometimes I kind of love, how Tinubu is dealing with them, honestly. So right now they are coming out to tell us that Tinubu should not dare to repeat what he did in 2023 to 2027. If not, Nigeria will cease to exist. My people, wonder shall never end. And him saying that no one will become Nigeria president without the support from the North. And also, no one will become Nigeria president without the support of the South, right? So, my people, let me allow you guys to just listen and hear what he said here, as well as reaction from Mayego, like what he said concerning this matter. Just take a listen.
Former Special Advisor on Political Matters to President Bola Tinubu, Dr. Hakim Baba-Ahmed, has declared that the North will soon reassess its political direction, warning of serious consequences ahead of the 2027 elections. Speaking in a recent interview, Baba-Ahmed said the North would no longer tolerate what he described as shenanigans from the current administration, adding that the region would make its position clear to the world within 6 months. Baba-Ahmed also warned that any attempt to rig the 2027 election could lead to national instability, saying, quote, "If they think they can manipulate the next election, then maybe there will be no country left," close quote. His comments have sparked debate over growing regional tensions and dissatisfaction with the current political leadership.
You see, I recently resigned from my position. I haven't spoken out yet, but if I speak now, you'll understand that what he's saying aligns with the opinions I've long held. What I must say now is this: Northern Nigeria must wake up and fight for itself. Our people must rethink their position and stand up for themselves. We must distance ourselves from selfish, deceitful politicians and avoid anything that divides us. Whatever affects Muslims, Christians, Baju, or Fulani affects us all. We saw this unity before Buhari's presidency, when Boko Haram planted bombs in mosques, churches, Abuja and Lagos. Ironically, their violence united northern Nigeria. Now, no politician should dare say, "Where are the Arewa people? Line up behind me," without first telling us what they will do for us. Our eyes are open now. 8 years of Buhari's government have passed, and now under this administration, everyone cries of hardship. Must we keep complaining endlessly? We are Nigerians. We demand a government that understands and solves our problems. The Northern Nigeria conversation is crucial. I believe within 6 months, we will see major changes in Northern Nigeria's direction. Whether Southerners join us or not, one thing is clear: nobody will become president without Northern Nigeria's support. And we are all aware of how we have been treated. This will soon be regretted. Unless they are prepared to conduct free and fair elections in 2027, they should beware. This could break Nigeria. The time is coming when ordinary Arewa people, all our associations and elders will unite and declare enough is enough. Change is coming to the north, whether from politicians or others. The time for voting based solely on region or religion is over.
The new, I actually was looking for a right word to describe it anyway, but let's say the new shot from another group, but very familiar group from northern Nigeria, giving Tinubu ultimatum and stylishly reminding him that if peradventure Tinubu is voted out but he rigs himself in 2027, then that will be the end of Nigeria. That is why we are having this chat. There is a video making round. It is the video of the senior brother to Ahmed Dati, or Dati Baba-Ahmed, Peter Obi's running mate in 2023. Now, his brother, who happened to be one of the Northern Elders Forum members, okay? So when Boko Haram was there, prior to, the emergence of Tinubu, when Boko Haram was there, it was among those from Northern Nigeria, right, parading themselves as the elders of Northern Nigeria, contributing to the political development of that time. The part where the Fulani terrorist advancement to the southern part of Nigeria jolted them so much that they actually said banning the movement of cows in southern part of Nigeria was considered as an attack on the northern part of Nigeria. It was one of them. It was also one of them that were expected to declare their support for candidates in 2023. And they went for Tinubu, no doubt, I think, right? Anyway, Baba-Ahmed later got appointment to be the special advisor to Tinubu, but in the office of a shitty man. Now, yesterday, we said something about the rumor of shitty man being so discriminated against that everyone around him, right, is angry. Like, it was like it doesn't really exist. You know what I mean? Somebody that they are like hiding from any serious state matter, except for the ones that, like, public show up and all that. There are many other things that they possibly conspired between themselves. I felt like, forget it. Tinubu and his gang, just like the Boko Haram and his own gang, right, during their own time. So this time, they just can't take what Tinubu is dishing. So he got appointments. People reacted. Look at him. And I think a year or so later, he resigned. I could no longer be with them. Now, I met somewhere, I think it was in Kaduna or so, right? And he was interviewed about the situation, the increasing insecurity, in Nigeria, especially northern Nigeria, the re-emergence of the Boko Haram, because right now, an average northerner is now aware that the Boko Haram are now making a comeback, according to them. They never left, but the Shas feeling like it is now a thing. Iswap is there, Lakurawa is there, and now Mahmuda in the north central of Nigeria. So in that state, I mean, in his response, right, he actually said, number one, right, Tinubu has no real plan for Nigeria, like generally, that if he opens his mouth to say things that he knows in that short stay within their space, and Nigerians will be alarmed. And I think that's a style to just make himself feel much like, like an in-house person or so, right? Then he went on to say, with the level of the economic hardship in Nigeria today, and plus the Tinubu's unpopularity and all that, right? That by 2027, if Tinubu rigged the election, if he dares, Nigeria will cease. Now that's far. It's not like we will chase him. So some people, like politically, right, you can read a lot of meaning into it. And I am going to read a lot of meaning into it. Somebody who is not really politically inclined, well, it's just one of those flippant talks, which of course it can be. But that's actually not how it's going to be reacted, because when you look at the personality involved, and then you look at all other strings attached to this person, so that is a statement, right? Becomes like a life of his own. In a nutshell, right? Baba-Ahmed was talking about the state of insecurity of Nigeria before the emergence of Boko Haram, as they were attacking Christians, they were attacking Muslims and all of that stuff. And eventually, when Boko Haram came, he resolved all of that. As bad as Boko Haram was, he said, at least in the area of insecurity, things were not like this. Like Boko Haram managed to push them back, because if you remember, Boko Haram were in Abuja, Boko Haram were in Kaduna, Boko Haram were in, So when it now comes to this of Tinubu, he strongly believes that if the North can come together to ensure that they take on this Tinubu and end Tinubu's reign as president of Nigeria. Literally, like Aruna put it, right? Asking all of them that, if other people in Nigeria are willing to, fine. Because in 2027, if Tinubu rigged the election, easily, Nigeria will cease to exist. Baba-Ahmed. Now, let us take a look at these statements. Is it just like an ordinary statement? Or is actually a statement that all of us should take serious? We all know that if there is a chance today for a referendum to ask every tribe in Nigeria and ethnic nationality in Nigeria if they still want to be part of this Nigeria or not, there is going to be a shocker. And that shocker is that there is a chance, right, that more than 60% of the people of the southern part of Nigeria, to start with, though, will vote to leave Nigeria. Not to say people will want to be part of Nigeria, remain part of Nigeria. No, they are. There are many of them. Do you understand? So, if the North begins to play the card of, because we believe that, not just that the North.
Du hast dich durch giftige Ruinen in der glühenden Astrowüste gekämpft.
Believe that, not just that the North, they are holding on to Nigeria. Their southern counterparts are making it easier for them to hold it together this long, right? So if they begin to play the card of, if something, normally you will say, oh, if Tinubu rigged the election in 2027, right, we will chase him out, something like that. But when you go to that extreme of Nigeria will cease to exist, so let's take a look at what that means in the whole context, like the whole scheme of things, right? Tinubu in 2023, right? Tinubu lost the election, to be precise, because normally, with their law, if to say he hasn't or he hadn't kind of like compromised their electoral system in Nigeria, okay? So Tinubu would, the INEC would have actually called for what they call the runoff election. And runoff election means when you can't get a clear winner from the word go, right? Then the closest contestants, right? You will take them to a second runoff or something, right? And then you don't need the number of states versus the number of, votes and whatever, right? You won't need all of that anymore. What you would need would be just straight contest and clear winner. But INEC didn't do that. And INEC didn't act alone. Apart from the suppression of nearly 3 million of people's votes in Rivers State alone by Werewike, in case some of you have no idea, right? The damages done by Werewike that made him so much valuable to Tinubu because it just helped him to balance, you can't win election in Nigeria and say you want to be president of Nigeria for real, even if you want to rig. You have to rig in such a way that, right, the whole, the whole setup of the country, the way you're going to rig them from region to region and all of that will balance it up enough that, but they didn't do that. So the Northern Nigeria believes that if Tinubu as rich and as powerful as he claimed to be, couldn't secure the southern part of Nigeria, and with this Peter Obi in the picture, anyway, they could possibly just go it alone. Kind of, sure you get. Because in 2023, where they formed big, indefensible figures for Tinubu in some of the core part of the north, where they promised them the glory and then the, I don't know, maybe the prosperity of Mumu ticket and all that, So right now, with the feedback from the office of Shittiman, there is no point in deceiving themselves. So they are already telling themselves in northern part of Nigeria that Tinubu will be an OTP, one-term president. But he's still the most dreaded, because somehow they believe that he controls the institutions, right, that would normally conduct this election of a thing, right? So what if he wields that power? Despite this North believing that they actually decide who becomes who in Nigeria, even that, in this year 2023 charade, it's just so unfortunate that, the whole 2023 was so corrupt, so flawed, that you can't really use the results as a yardstick of measuring anything, but it's still the only data, that is available that you can use. 2023. We used to remember, I remember when we used to have the three Kardashians. The three Kardashians were, because they've lost that now, right? So where Kaduna, Kano, and Katsina. You see these three states, they can deliver about 6 million votes from them alone. These are like underage voters, fake votes, manipulated figures, triple, quadruple, put it this way, multiple from printing and all of that. And they used to be like, so in this year, 2023, maybe because the North were not so dedicated or so, I don't know, like the number fell so much that people now realize that it was all a myth, a scam all along. So Tinubu lost all those three Kardashian states. Lost in Lagos. Lagos was supposed to be his base with over 2 million votes. I think they even have about 3 million or so. No, hang on. But they actually have like about 6 million voters in Lagos alone in this year 2023. But the shocker that the obedient and the obedient brought into the 2023 sort of like a project was so massive that Tinubu could only manage to forge 500,000 votes for himself. So where exactly, right, did the vote come from? That is where the North comes in. That is where they feel entitled. That is why they feel so entitled. Or to Tinubu. It's all right if they feel like that. But in reality, those votes, they don't exist. Do you understand? Like, they don't exist. All manipulated to further push their Mumu ticket that they thought, God knows what they were thinking. So right now, within a year, it became obvious that this was a wrong bet, like it was a wrong gamble. So suddenly, they decided that they are going to make sure that North, they gave Tinubu, they gave you Tinubu, because they feel like they gave you Tinubu. Now, that North will take Tinubu away. And if Tinubu now uses the power of himself, just same thing they did to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, right? When they told Goodluck Ebele Jonathan that they will give him a backbone treatment. And that backbone treatment is that they will send thousands of the Almajiris to take over the Aso Rock. If they bombard the place, Jonathan will be dragged out of that place and he will be torn into pieces. I don't know if some of you remember that. Statements like this, little by little like this. That's how they built up until when they were bold enough, right, to stone Jonathan in Bauchi in 2014, right? Although the sort of like the playbook, right, may be a little bit different this time. That is why this statement is not just a statement. It's like it's a two-way thing, okay? So North are now the champion for coalition. Have you noticed? Like the people talking about coalition, they are Northerners. Because all they need to them, which is what they believe that they've discovered, that only them. Because if they disagree with any form of, listen to this, so if they disagree with any form of arrangement, right, they can escalate it. So let's assume that in 2023, the North, or these guys, when I say the North anyway, kind of make it look so kind of like so uniquely powerful or something, right? But that's how they feel. They feel like, you don't know, we decide things. So they believe that if they were the ones, right, that they felt like rigged out in 2020, if they were not in the project of Tinubu, for example, let's say they were in the project of this obedience, for example, and Peter Obi is Alaji Yekini, Obi Taju, something like that, right? Say Alaji Abdul Yekini Obi Taju, and he is their project and obedient stuff. Everybody obedient. They believe, right, that they are capable of shutting down Nigeria. Yeah. Did you see when they are poor protested last year, for hunger this and hunger that, right? So it's believed that they didn't really have the backing of their extreme leaders, the religious and the political. So although it is also believed that in northern part of Nigeria right now, even though the whole storm is just gathering, by the way, so it is believed that in northern part of Nigeria, there were some special clerics, Islamic clerics, whose own job, like they are on the payroll of a Tinubu. So their own job is to continue to keep the population, right, hopeful. Meanwhile, those ones who are leading the coalition, this coalition that, I've heard a lot about that, so like different kind of schemes and all that. Or let Atif could do one term, and they would then hand over to Peter Obi. Maybe Atif could, different kind of some of their plots, right? But it's coming from the north. Just less than 2 years after Buhari's finished his 8 years. Just less than 2 years after they publicly threatened to lynch anybody whoever comes out in northern part of Nigeria to vote for Tinubu, to vote for any infidel except Tinubu. Less than 3 years. And they still have another 2 years to go. And that is how the storm is kind of like a gathering. That's one. The second part is that, which indeed is, is making me to begin to feel like we must actually pay more attention to this 2027 of a thing. As much as so many of us are never going to participate, fine. But the fact that we are not participating doesn't mean that there are not millions who wants to go and participate in order to validate it. But there will be those, right, that strongly believes that despite Tinubu's power of incumbency, as they call it, all this, that when the people, the alliance of people becomes so strong and stronger, right, that even Tinubu himself would probably have to abdicate, run away, or honorably, right, exit the scene. But here is the twist. For Tinubu, you see all these things, they are noise. People can say whatever they want to say. When the chiefs are down, some of them would have to leave Nigeria, go to exile. Some of them will have to, he's so unbothered, if you probably want me to be honest. He's so unbothered, and that's a good thing. The way APC, Egbekebe, destroyed Nigeria depends on how you want to see it. People actually rejected them in 2023. But with the help of the compromise system, Tinubu is your president today and continue to unleash that frigate that Bukwari started. So that in itself means that if the people are allowed to decide Tinubu's fate, it will stop being your own president by 12 noon on any election day. Any election day. In any way you are allowed to express yourself. So we all know that is not how it works. Right? So all Tinubu needs is just participation. As the whole thing is currently set up, he will decide if he wants to declare himself winner or he wants to declare himself loser. Only him will decide at the way the whole thing is set up right now. So the Northern Nigeria believing that once we say no, we get rid of him and all of that, it's a good thing. Do you see the do you see the vice versa? What do you call the contrast there? It is a good thing, but I'll tell you, they are not the only one. So we've already had the obedience. No matter what you say to them, obedience are going, except if Peter Obi is not contesting any election again. The obedience, no matter what you say to them, whether they change the constitution or whether they don't change the electoral act, whether Yakubu continue or Tinubu appointed another stooge that will do the job, it doesn't matter. They will participate. So this time around, they now have the experience of being rigged out for real. They experienced it. They saw it. They saw how they got disenfranchised. Some of them lost interest completely in the whole process. Yeah, some of them did lose interest. But don't let us pretend that we don't know that there are still millions of them all over the place. No matter what you say about Nigeria, if you say Nigeria should break up tomorrow, they will say, yes, break up. Some of them. And when you see people saying that obedient, you will hear them shout for life. So they exist. And that is a good thing too. Whether the Northern Nigeria succeed in creating a coalition, which they strongly believe that if others are not going to follow them, fine, they will do it and go it alone. So the obedients are also not pretty much interested in any coalition, maybe not all of them. Right? So that means, number one, it will be believed that if you have two people running with Tinubu, right, that gives him a leverage because it divides your votes. That is for the analysts. Analysts will always analyze Nigeria. divides your votes. So to Tinubu, that's all I need. They are participating. Right, the result. But to the obedient, if what they suffered in 2023 repeats itself, heaven will fall. Ojimeji. The third one, the establishment generally. Do you know that they still blame themselves for allowing that your obedience movement to last to an election date? They regret that up to this moment, still regretting it. Because that simply means that the number of gullible people who don't really understand how the whole rigged system works are now aware. And somehow, with their emotion and all that, right? It's like it's bottled anger for so many of them. So they want to see it again. However, the establishment wants to make sure that that never happened again, ever. I mean, you hear them, they said it a few months or a few years back. Just a few months after that, 2023, they said, this must never happen again. So do you now see that it's like in 3-4 places right now, you have different, different people's agenda, intention, and they are all at cross purposes. And that is a good thing. So if the North says, if Tinubu declare himself winner, Nigeria will cease to exist. Great, bring it on. If the obedience says, wait till you do for 2023, if you try it again 2027, a revolution will happen. Great. Let's go. So it's a good thing. It is. I'm beginning to be interested. Here is what this guy, Segun Showumi, he was with Sheun on open mic, or mic on rather, Sheun or Kimbaloye's platform on YouTube, right? They will add different charts about this, about that. But his own view, talking about the obedience, by the way, he believes that the PDP governors who says that they are not with Atiku on this issue of coalition against Tinubu, you know that this day newspaper just published something today. Yeah, this day newspaper published that 4 PDP governors are on the verge of decamping to APC. I mean, this is also a factor because all Tinubu needs, like I said, apart from the alliances here and there, as people are forming coalition here and there, is just their participation. Just your participation, that's all it needs. That simply validates the process. If you go back again to say you are rigged, to them, you are just a sore loser. Because those you think are with you, they are cutting deal with the devil, as you can see. Those who are supposed to be your friends. So PDP governors came out and said they are not going to be part of any coalition. Meanwhile, Atiku and Kaduna Littlefinger, they have been everywhere talking about coalition. We are going to have coalition and all that. You know? So to Segun Showumi, he believes that if PDP can manage to get Peter Obi back, yeah, then Peter Obi becomes the candidate of PDP. That Atiku support, everybody come together. Then Tinubu will be gone before 12 p.m., 12 noon on your election day. That's what he said.
The talks within the APC was in 2023 that Buhari subtly worked against the Tinubu ticket.
But did he win or did he not win?
So that's the question.
Okay, so if somebody
whether
was,
or not,
without conceding to you, if somebody was not the president, had been out of power since 2007 in Lagos, and he won a presidential election, which you people say Buhari was not with him and policies were directed against him, and then you actually think that that kind of person is going to fret because of what? Have all the governors in the APC said they are unwilling? Look, I'm a PDP man. Well, they can sauce in their own stew. I'm interested in stability. The APC as a political party, I wish them stability. When they won the election in 2015, although I was not part of that, but I was happy for them because I thought, okay, Nigeria will have another stable political party, and they've won 3 elections too, which is not bad. So when they get to the hurdle of what they're going to do with their presidential election, it's their business. They'll take that decision. I am interested in saying very clearly, the pathway for People's Democratic Party of Nigeria to win the next election is very clear to me. It's unambiguous.
How would that happen?
Oh, I will not tell you that completely, but I will just say to you, in the last election, we got 6-point-something million votes. The third person, Peter Obi, who is also a PD man really, until he went there, got 6.1 million votes. The third person, who is also a PDP man, Kwankwaso, got 2-point-something million votes. Can you not see that it is the votes of the PDP that was fragmented? Can you just imagine if we just joined the PDP numbers back together and figured out a decent way of picking a fit-for-purpose candidate?
That would be like 15 million or thereabout votes. If you put all
so
of those
that's
together.
like a stroll in the park. We're going to win. And we are not under obligation to keep giving the ticket of the presidential candidacy of PDP to only one individual. Although nobody is preventing anybody from contesting, everybody must be willing, ready, prepared to play by the rule. And part of the thing that political leaders should not do is demarcate their party, forgetting that that same party they wish to demarcate had favored them one times too many. And if you don't get that, then I think you don't stand for it.
So it would have been, if Atiku gets the ticket of the PDP, that would have been 3 times back to back.
That's not even the point. What about the one we gave him that made him vice president and made everybody know him?
That's twice.
Exactly. Add that to the 2 ones that we gave him as presidential ticket.
So you are inferring that it may not be fair
I am saying
for
that
Atiku to run again in 2027.
No. Don't listen, Sheung. Don't let's kid about. What I'm saying is that, you see, the People's Democratic Party, my party, we are a party that allows free contest. We have never been a party where we hold anybody's hand. I mean, can you imagine Wike losing 2023 election? Do you know the kind of contribution they had been making before then? Do you know what type of bills he has been picking on behalf of people before then? But because it was a free contest, everybody came, somebody dropped down for somebody, and another person won, and the result is the result. Of course, people can brood, people can be upset and all that, but that's fine. But in the 2027 too, the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria will open up its rules, will announce when it is time for buying the form. Anybody that feels strong enough to contest should go and contest there. If I were Peter Obi, I'll come and take that ticket. I'll make a very strong stake for that ticket. And
Peter Obi should return to the PDP.
I think that if I were him, I'll make a strong stake for that ticket, because I really do not see why the Igbos. This party was actually conceived in the bedroom of Alex Ekweme. I really do not see why the Igbos and the southern leaders and other leaders of thought in the country, especially in the PDP, cannot say, okay, we accept, we owe a Southeastern debt. Here's the ticket. If Peter can do 6-point-something all by himself, with no governor, no nothing, can you imagine what he would do with 12 governors and a strong grassroots infrastructure? Have you seen the way we do primaries? Our primaries are like movies. They're like a movie set. We don't joke about. It's so choreographed. It's so beautiful. And if we've gone everywhere else. We've not gone to the Southeast. But Peter is at liberties to do as he wishes.
So Peter, if Peter Obi goes to the PDP, it's almost like a stroll.
It will likely get
into the presidency.
It will likely get the ticket. I don't know about stroll. Every contest must be, keenly contested. You have to count. You can't count.
But it will be easier for him.
Because he'll be, if he gets that, if his numbers and his animate energy that is following him were to follow him into the PDP and he was the presidential candidate, I can guarantee you Peter will take the Southeast. Peter will take the South-South. Peter will take the Christian North. Peter will take North Central. Do you know how many votes PDP can bring for him, even without campaigning? Just PDP and people will just come apart.
But it doesn't look like Peter will leave Labour Party.
It's not listen. You asked a question that allowed me to speak to that possibility.
To the permutation.
if Atiku picks the ticket of the PDP, the challenge is we have to find somebody that can back him. If Sheyi Makinde picks the ticket of the PDP, the challenge is we have to find somebody that will back him. I've heard a lot of people in the country as I go around tell me that, Shagun, why are you not even talking to us about Baba-Ahmed? If Bala, the former governor, the governor of Bauchi State, if Bala picks the ticket, we'll back him. There is always a pathway for. If I, Shagun Shomi, get a ticket to PDP, I know where to go find the running mate. What I'm trying to say in essence is that people must understand political parties must be nurtured. It's not every day that it's going to be easy. The difficult work has to be done by those that have been given much, and to whom much is given.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not.
Whether you believe it or not. So his permutation, right, is that if Peter Obi can come back to PDP, it's going to be just walk in the park. Maybe not like that, but yeah. They will mobilize for him, they will blah, 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 and all of that stuff. It's still part of coalition talk. A group of young people put themselves together, right, to talk about the same coalition talk. Trying to, I think they are PDP guys, okay? So they came together and said that the PDP governors should reconsider. Now let me tell you the PDP governors that are going to join APC anytime soon. Peter Mba of Enugu, Sheriff Overebori of Delta, what's the other one? That's Humo, Numero Humo of Akwa Ibom. There is one more. The mandate suspended. Seamless Fubara. These four governors, one after the other, sooner or later, are expected to declare for APC, and they are going to say they are doing so for the sake of the progress of Nigeria. So to the ones who are still here, these guys are begging them to please support the coalition of, seriously.
Forming a unified opposition coalition is not just a strategy, it is a necessity and a compulsory for any compatriot Nigeria irrespective of his political affiliation. Neither His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, Peter Obi of Labour Party, nor Rabi Musa Konkoso of NNPP has the individual capacity and political weight or national spirit now to defeat or unseat President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu administration alone. Yet, combined, the three major parties secured 2 times votes of President Bola Tinubu in the 2023 general election. Imagine if they come together in the upcoming 2023-2027 general election. Beloved Nigerians, if we fail to unite, we are handling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a second-term win on a flatter.
The group further calls on key stakeholders of the PDP to set strategies capable of unseating the current APC administration.
I strongly urge the PDP Governors Forum to immediately reconsider their decision and prioritize the interests of Nigerians over their personal or sectional interests. Otherwise, Nigerian youths will find leaders who prioritize their interests and defend their rights in the upcoming 2027 election, as we are now wiser than ever. Unity is strength. Coalition building is key. Strategic alliance can help the opposition to tap into new power base, build a broadened coalition, and increase its chances of winning the 2027 general election. Nigerians' future is at stake. The 2027 general election presents an opportunity for Nigerians to chart a new course.
I write, begging everybody to come together for the sake of Nigeria.
So, my people, that is it. I hope you guys had everything Mayogo said here. As you can see, Nigeria politicians, they are all focused on 2027 election. No one is talking about governance. No one is talking about what Nigerians are going through, the level of hardship. This to show you that, like, there is no hope anymore, especially this particular breaking news that came in today, that the State House has allocated the sum of 10 billion naira in the 2025 approved budget for the installation of a solar mini grid at the presidential villa. This to show you that there is no hope for common man in Nigeria, especially those people that are still hoping for 24 hours electricity. It's not going to happen. If they can go ahead and budget 10 billion for installation of solar in presidential villa, then what is the hope of common man? My people, they can use this money to fix the problem in electricity. No, but Nigeria is always in a wrong side. Like, I don't know the kind of people that are in this particular government, honestly. They are telling you that 24 hours electricity in Nigeria is not going to be possible. What a country. Right now, the Northerners are coming out to give a threat warning about 2027 just because this Tinubu government is not favoring them. Like, let's have a fall. Let's see what is going to happen. Even Nigerians they are already tired. What are we even benefiting from this government? Whatever they want to do, let them do. Even if heaven wants to fall, let it fall. Because enough is enough for these people, honestly. Yes, my people, make I bring this update to you guys. Don't wait to subscribe if you haven't. Share the video. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Yes, I will see you guys in my next update. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Shamra News TV.